René, segment 5, your personal story. You've been quoted as saying that you've undergone 2 conversions, and the first was intellectual. The intellectual conversion occurred, I'm assuming, when reading the Golden Bough, you recognized that Christianity was different. Am I correct about that?
Yes, but this is not necessarily a Christian. It's the encounter of these texts with the Gospels, which convinced me. And then when I realized precisely that it's this mixture, there will be the sea and the roaring of the waves and so forth, and man will fight man, and city against city and so forth. It's always symmetrical, like what I call the doubles, the basic conflictual situation. When you realize that these 2 things are one.
I'm looking to you for a little cheer here. The apocalyptic, when I was a teenager, the apocalyptic texts impressed me as well. They scared the wits out of me.
Yeah.
And in fact, I can remember hearing a country preacher talking about he somehow or other had the hydrogen bomb predicted in the book of Revelation.
People
but that's
want
not
to be scared today. All their films and so forth. The only
Paranormal
fear,
Activities is a big hit.
The only fear they refuse is a good one. The one that says there must be a God there who is in charge and who can reward as well as punish.
Do you believe, I've got a question here from a viewer, Todd Jones. Does René Girard believe that there's any way to turn the tide?
Yes, behaving like Christians.
All right. Now, René, to conclude, would you indulge me in concluding this interview? I would like to ask you to be my personal guide here and demonstrate to me a close Girardian reading of a text. I'll give you a couple of passages and ask you to comment on it. Luke chapter 1. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God. What is that woman doing in the Christian myth?
Well, that Christian is part, that woman is part, is the very important part, is Mary. And she's the mother of the child who is Christ and who is the Son of God, who is the presence of God on this earth. Therefore, it's very important. Protestant and Catholics give various different importance to Mary and so forth. I don't think it's very important. The importance is to see that it justifies, in a way, history in a religious way. That history is both human and divine, and that the consequences, in a way, are always made manifest by God. For the right reason.
There's no stagecraft here. There's no melodrama. There is
no melodrama.
You have a simple girl who's scared witless.
That's right.
All right. Chapter 2. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went up from Galilee into Judea, into the city of David, which is called Bethlehem. And so it was that while they were there, Mary brought forth her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them at the inn. This is an odd appearance for the God, the dying and resurrected God, to be making.
Well, it is the proof and the statement that what is really going on the historical plane has very little to do with the Roman Empire and what was going on in the world in the 2nd century AD.
So we begin with, in effect, the front page of the New York Times, Caesar Augustus decree, and then the gospel immediately shows us what is important is a secret, ordinary human truth here.
That's right.
Taking place in a little out of the way.
Yeah, but taking place only in one place, you know, being unique, being something which has to be discovered, which we cannot afford to say, oh, well, okay, it's there, it's unimportant. No, it's not unimportant. It's destiny and the duty of our life to look for the truth, which is hidden from the point of view of the Roman Empire.
Final passage, Luke chapter 2. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men.
Yeah.
René, you remember the Second World War. You lived in occupied Paris, the Second World War, 50 million dead, the Holocaust, the tens of millions killed by the communists, all in your lifetime. How do you make sense of, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men?
Well, the first sense to make is that most men, and especially the most powerful, were not full of peace and good intentions. And, well, human life is essentially drama. And maybe one thing that churches don't emphasize enough is that human beings like drama. They would like to be part of an immense fight between good and evil and so forth. What these texts say is that in their own way, each one of them is part of that struggle, you know, which I think is very important and very hopeful.
The ordinary Christian is not going to read every word of the Girard Reader or every word of your many books. Can you sum up the
It's really very unimportant. He may have insights which are more profound than mine, and he should believe and he should trust that he's a very important man for God, and that his understanding of reality as a religious history is an event that rejoices God.
René Girard, thank you very much. I should say Joyeux Noël.
Joyeux Noël. Merry Christmas.
I'm Peter Robinson for Uncommon Knowledge in the Hoover Institution. Thanks for joining us.